one by one for, yeah, I have started the recording. So here the BDC insert is going to insert the data one by one for each record. It's going to insert the data, right? It's going to insert the data for one by one. Okay. And it will prepare the session. It will prepare the session. So it's preparing the session. It's preparing the, for each record, it's preparing the BDC data and it's inserting the record into the internal server. See, it's preparing the BDC data and it's inserting the record into this with the help of this internal table into this session, the session which we have opened. Okay. Now, once that part is done, then it will come and close the session. This is also important. Closing the session is also important. Delete adjacent duplicate. This is, there is no sense of this message and all. We can remove this message part. Okay. We can remove this message part. Go into the change mode, go to this update data and this perform write message. I'm going to delete. Okay. Now you might be thinking there is nothing happening. Why I'm doing all these things? Nothing happening due to this. Open the session, insert the session, insert the data into the session, then we are closing the session. Okay. So it has created the session. One thing is sure that it has created the session with the name called this MB28 BDC session, right? And there the data has been also inserted. That is also sure. And we have closed the session. But where we can see that? But where that particular session we can see that? That is the question. That is a question where we can see that particular session. So the session which has been created for this BDC, we can see in the T code called SM35. Very, very important T code for the session method. Here you can see all the BDC session which has been created, right? Here you can see all the BDC session which has been created. What is the T code? SM35. 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 Remember SM35. I have come to this SM35 and here the session name, you can see that this is the session name which we have created. Some earlier people, some another people has also created so many session. This is the session which we have created, MB28 BDC underscore BDC session, right? Now what I will do with this BDC session, we can use this session to process the data, because in this session how many total material is there? 11 material. It is telling that total 11 material is there. You can see that total 11 material. That's why here also the 11 is showing you. 11 is showing you total transaction. It has to have 11. How many are there in the error? You can see 0. How many is processed? 0. Total DINPROs means total screen. How many times it has to come? 33 times. This is the QID. This is the QID. Okay. So the important one is here. This is the program, right? This is the program which we have through which we have created this session. Okay. So here the important point is that from the program you can create the session. From the program you can create the session. And after creating the session, you can come over here and you can manually process the session. You can manually process the session. Okay. So come to here and click on this process button, because here you can see that no unsuccessful, no successful, 33 didn't approach, right? It is coming like this. Okay. Correct. So here you can see that you can select this one and you can click on this process button. Once you click on this process button, here the process foreground, display errors only, and the background. If you remember in the call transaction also there was AEN. A means all, A means all, that means this. In the session method also you have three options, A, E and N. N means none. None means background. None of the screen you are going to see. So here also you can select any of this radio button. If you want to run this one is in foreground, you can select this. Okay. And additional function, extended log, exploit mode. Hello, can you please mute from your side? Or if you have any question, please feel free to ask. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so here you can click on this process button, and after clicking on this process button, you can see that it's coming nicely. 100 number, right? 100 number material, 100 number material, right? Chemical industry, finished product. Click on this OK button, OK button, OK button, right? It got created. Again, the second material is coming, right? Right. So when I'm going to, when just I'm pressing the enter, right? And it is done. 11 material got successfully processed, and here the status you can see for this particular session name, the status is successful created by this. Total transaction was 11. The error one is 0. 11 is successfully, right? 11 got successful, all the 11. If you want to see the complete error message, complete the log message. If you want to see what you can do, that just a second, give me a second. It got disconnected. Shivaya, can you please mute from your side if you have not any question?
No, sir.
You have any question?
No, sir. It is. I have not unmuted. I'll just muted.
Okay, fine, thank you. So now let's go to, it got disconnected. I'm going to connect once again. So here also my voice is breaking, as this is fine.
No, sir, it's fine.
Okay, good, good. Okay, so here, if you want to see the complete information about this, double click over here, and you can see that total 11 records was there. Index 1, about the index 1, it is telling that the total, you can see that processed 11, current content 11, right? The complete log, you can see it over here. The total number of DIN pros, right? 60, 70, and 4004. The DIN pro, this was the DIN pro, right? 60, 70, and 4004. The DIN pro means the screen number. The screen number information it is telling over here. The DIN pro means a screen number. DIN pro means a screen number which is showing over here, right? Okay. Log, you can see that this material got created, this material got created, this material got created. Total, this is got 11 transaction date, 11 transaction processed. This is how it is telling. This is how it is showing. Okay. So here you are observing. Now once again I'm going to create a session method, right? Once again I'm going to create the session method. Copy this one, some existing one I'm going to take, and another some new one we are creating. Fine. Copy this and paste it over here. Control V. This is fine now. Save it and then come over here and run this program. Well, run. This will create one more session. Okay, one more session. Session is now created. Session is now more created. Just refresh this one. Just refresh. You will get one option to refresh over here somewhere. Or just simply press enter. There is no option. Just press enter. You can see the second MB28 BDC session is coming over here, right? This is the second one, and this is unprocessed. Status is unprocessed. The name we are passing like this, that's why it's coming, right? And here it's 0 successful, so still we have to process. So put the cursor over here and click on this process button, right? What's the benefit of this BDC session method is that the benefit of this one is that, for example, suppose you got some error. In this case, you will get this information message. But the here, what will happen? What will happen? I will show you. Press enter, enter, select at least one view, right? Here it is telling because the first one got unsuccessful. That's why it is creating this problem. So no problem. You can select manually from here or just cancel it. Just it's select from here, click on this OK button. Just go back and come here. Press enter once again, enter, and because this is already there, this 109, if you see that this 109 and 1010, this 3 is already there. I think 111 is also already there. That's why such problem is there. So no problem, just keep manually you can also select. In case of any error, you can run this transaction, and whatever the manual change you want to do, you can do it over there because the session will be there permanently, right? So you can do it. So 109, 109, every time this 109 is coming, so no problem, just go back, click on this yes button, and this time 110 is coming, press enter, that is also already there. Just go back, click on this yes button, click on this OK. This is I think not present, yes, so it will create. Okay, it got created. 112 is got created also, 113 is getting created, right? So this is how you can do. Now if you know, you came to know that now everything is fine, like you came to know that after 113, all this material is new, right? And suppose you have 1 lakh material or 2 lakh material, so you'll not keep on doing this thing in foreground. So what you will do, that you can just bend the session. That means you can terminate the session. Click on this OK button, session overview, and I have terminated this session. Double click over here, and you can see that 2 material got processed. How many total was there? 11, right? 11 with errors 4 because already 4 materials were present. The new is 5, correct? So newly created is the 5. No, 2 only we have created. It is telling the new is still new, is means still 5 is available to process. Still 5 is available to process. 2 got processed. New means 5 is still there to process. Processed means 2 got processed. To process, right? To process means this with errors means total uh, four was error, and total new yet to process. So the system is telling still 9 has to be processed because 4 was there in the error, and 5 is in the 5 yet not processed. So this error one, we know that it should be there in the error because it is already there, so we cannot do anything. But the one which is a new, it should be executed, right? So this information we got. So again, what you can do, that you can go back and you can select this session, and again you can process. So what it will do, that it will skip the one which has been already processed. It will only capture the error one and the new one. The successful one it will not capture. So the successful one was what? This till here it's already there. This one is already present, so it was there in red, right? It was there in the means it was not processed, but the 2 got successfully processed, and this is unprocessed, right? So which one it will pick? It will pick this one and this one. The green one it will not pick. Okay, so this is the benefit over here. Again, you can come and you can correct the data and you can process. So if suppose there is some error in some 2 or 3 material, you can manually correct over here by going into the foreground, right? And you can process. Okay, so here when I'm just going to run this one again foreground. We know that 108 is already there, so it will tell that it is not present. So if you want manually, you can also, for example, suppose by mistake you were supposed to give 208, but you have given 108, which is already present. So you can give and you can change this 208 manually and click on this OK. It will work, right? So Click on this OK. It has saved. Again, you are supposed to give 209, but you have given by mistake 109. So you can give this 209 over here and you can correct. Similarly, if any kind of error is there, you can correct it and you can process. So 208 and 209 we have created. Similarly, 210, by mistake you have given 110, right? Why to give 110 if it's already there, right? That's why it was giving into the error. Just go once again and it should be 213. Here just you observe 113, it is coming. It is coming 113. Okay, so I think the one which was processed, this is 112 and 1111. So 8, 9, 10 was already present. Triple one and 12. So here let me do little correction. Okay, and 1113, this was not processed. This was not processed. 113 is not there. 113 is not there. Let us press enter. Press enter. You can see that it was not there, so it's creating. Okay, so 114, now it's coming. And now we came to know that everything is fine, everything is perfect, right? Everything is perfect. And what we can do, that we can again bend the session, and in case of large amount of data, in case of large amount of data, what you can do, that now how many 6 got successfully created, right? One was there in the error, still one was there in the error, right? So it will come, it will take, that one is the error one, it will take. So if you want to see that which one was there in the error, that we can see incorrect, seventh number one was incorrect. So that's fine because I have terminated, because the last one, for the last one I have used the bend transaction, if you remember, to just terminate the session. That's why this incorrect is coming. Other got successfully processed because I have corrected the data and I have processed. So the system has understood those transactions as a successfully processed this time, and this time you can see that there is no error. Processed is 6, with errors only one, the last one for which I have used the bend session. So what the system will do now, when you select this one and click on this process button and use this background, so one, the last for which I have bended, it will that also put into the consideration and it will execute those. Okay, click on this process button and your session is executed in background. Okay, your session is executed in background, and you can see that I've just pressed the enter and it got refreshed, and everything is now for the 11 transaction. For the 4 transaction which I have by mistake, I have given by mistake, we have given what, 108, 109, though knowingly we have given over here, but just in case suppose, because it's already present, right? Because it's already present, so there is no meaning of giving this one. So manually you can go and correct. So that's the beauty of session method. Session method is very, very important when you have the large amount of data, 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs, like that. If you have the data, then you can use the session method to process the data. Okay, in case of large amount of data, suppose somewhere you got stuck, you got some error, you can go and you can manually reprocess, you can correct the data, you can enter the data, and again you can bend from there, and again you can come and you can start, click on this process and process in background, because one by one you will not be able to do in foreground. If we're going to do the same thing in the call transaction, it will take a lot of time. It will take a lot of time. There the error handling is not easy. In call transaction, you will have to remove that data from the file which is throwing the error, or you must have to correct the data in the call transaction. If you remember, you must have to correct the data, and the one which has been already processed, you can remove there in the call transaction, and again you can use it over there. But here it is not required. You can process once again, it will automatically skip the one which is already processed, right? It will skip already those which is already processed. It will consider only the error one, and the error one manually you can go and correct. So again and again you don't require, don't require to go and run the program. So here the data maintenance is easy. Here the data maintenance is easy. The processing of the large volume of data is easy over here. That's why we use the BDC method. That's why we use the BDC method. Okay. Here log is also same thing. You can see that the log for this BDC session, it's telling 3 times I have processed, right? This BDC session, this BDC session, the last one. So it's telling about that. It's telling about that. For that particular session, in the first time when I have run, this is the log it has captured. For the second time when I have run, this is what we have done. Batch input processing cancelled. So all the information and everything you will be able to see it nicely. In build message handling is there, and how the code has been run, that also you can see it over here. That's the beauty of BDC session method. Okay. This is how you can use the BDC session method. Let's go to the theoretical part and we will see some stuff from the interview point of view, which is very important. Okay. So just a second, come to this PPT and we will give the BDC session method as the topic in the BDC session method. So let's give this BDC session method. And what is this BDC session method? So in the BDC session method, just we have seen, we'll have to open the session, we have to insert the data into the session, and then we'll have to close the session. Okay. So if someone is going to ask you what is the BDC session, then you can define it nicely. How you can define it? How you can define it? So for defining it, what you will have to tell it for this BDC session method, that it is one of the powerful BDC technique which is used to process the large amount of data, large amount of data. Okay. So it's one of the powerful BDC technique which is used to process the large amount of data in easy way. In easy way, because here here the error handling is very easy. Error handling is very easy. Okay. Now this is the definition part. We have just written it over here. This is the definition. No one asks this question generally. The question what they will ask, I will just let you know at this point of time. Okay. So this is what we have, the definition. Now the definition part we have seen. Definition we have seen. Okay. Another question, just I'm going to write it in form of question and answer. What is the important transaction where we can go, and what is the important transaction where we can go, and what is the T code where we can see the session method, means session, created session, actually created session. This is the question. So what should be your answer? You now know what is the answer for this. Can you ping me or can you unmute your line and you can tell the answer over here? Which transaction you can go and check the
35, sir.
SM35. Very good others, very good. So SM35 is the transaction, very important transaction. Please remember this one. So this is the answer. This is the question. Now another question, the very important question. Let's go and write in the next slides. Okay, we will write this one in the next slides. Control V. And what's the difference between call transaction and session method? Okay, what's the difference between call transaction and session method? So let's go and do that. The difference here, I will write the call transaction, and the right side we will give this. This is going to be very important from the interview point of view. Okay. So this is going to have the very important from interview point of view, and the session method. So this is the call transaction method, and this is the another one is the session method which we have. Okay. So some of the difference already we have discussed. Let us identify the another set of differences. We will just summarize it over here. The difference. Okay. So let's go and write the differences. So the first difference, we can write it, the call transaction, it's very fast. The call transaction is very fast. It's very, very fast. Okay. It's very fast. The second one, it's suitable for the small amount of data. It's suitable. Let me go step by step. The one which you already know, that it is suitable. It is suitable for a small amount of data. Just we have discussed the session method is good for the large amount of data, right? That it is good for large amount of data. So this is one difference, large amount of data. Okay. It is suitable for a small amount of data. Call transaction is very fast. The session method is slow, comparatively slow. This session method is comparatively slow. Why it is slow? Why? Why it's slow? Because it always use the synchronous mode to update the data. It always use the synchronous mode to update the data. There is no option. There is no option. There is no option to use the parallel option over here. Parallel means asynchronous. Okay, there is no option to use the asynchronous. So that means it always run in run in synchronous mode. It always run in synchronous mode. It always run in synchronous mode. This is the answer. Okay, it is very fast. Why? It is very fast. Why? The reason behind, if you are going to use this one in the synchronous mode, it is going to have the same performance. But if you use the asynchronous mode, asynchronous means the parallel mode, right? So if you are going to use something in parallel, obviously it will be in fast, right? So because here you have the option to use the asynchronous mode in the call transaction, right? That's why people tell that it's a very fast. If you use the asynchronous mode, is asynchronous mode, it's going to be faster. Obviously, if something is parallel, right, multi-core processor is there, then parallel processing is possible, then it will be certainly faster. So that's the reason. That's the reason. Why? The question is why, and the answer, you know, that if you use the asynchronous mode. If you use the synchronous mode, there are two possible modes there in the call transaction, right? Synchronous and asynchronous. If you're going to use the synchronous mode, it is going to have the same impact. But if you use the asynchronous mode, it is going to be very faster. So generally, as a rule, people tell call transaction is fast. Okay, generally. So you can also tell that call transaction is fast. Now, if someone is asking that why it is fast, you can tell that it is having the option to run in the asynchronous mode, and that option is responsible for making it fast. Okay. Now, error handling is difficult. Error handling is difficult over here. Why? Why it's difficult? Why it's difficult? Why it's difficult? Every time if you get some error, you will have to correct your file. Every time if you get some error, you have to correct your file and you know remove the processed data and execute the program, right? It's very difficult, but here error handling is very easy. Error handling is very easy. Why it's easy? just we have seen that just we have seen that when you get any error when you get any error when you get any error, what you can do that you can manually process, manually correct those error, manually correct that error by running in foreground, by running in foreground and correct and bend and again execute and again execute in background. Now we will tell that here also we can run in the foreground, right? That is true. You can run it over here. You can run it over here. That is possible. Okay, but still it is difficult. You can experience over there. Once you will come in that situation, it will be, it is, you can go in the debugging mode and you can give the mode as the all mode and you can go and you can correct, but you will not able to see at which particular place you are going to have the, error. That's why it's difficult. The identification is difficult where you are going to get the error. Okay. So for that, you have to handle the message. You have to see the log on the output screen. You have to you have to capture the data and all. These things you will have to do. Okay. So the call transaction and the session method, the, uh, here the extra information to process the recorded session, to process the recorded session, you need to go to T code SM35. Okay, so if you want, you can also give as a difference. The first three is the important one. Here no other, here you don't have to go to any other T code. Here you have to go to any other T code, right? And the fifth number, here you don't require any function. Here no need to open any session or something like that. No need to open any session, insert the session or something like that. Here you require, right? Here you require three function module. Here need to open the session using what? Using the BDC open group, BDC open group FM, open group FM. Then insert the data using BDC underscore insert FM, then close the session using BDC close group FM. Okay, so you can write multiple, but the first three one is the important one. You'll have to remember. Okay, one of the important difference here itself we have written, it always run in the synchronous mode. Session method is always having the synchronous mode here, so that maybe I can write as a difference. Okay, only two mode is possible, two running